Now, 7 of 9 isn't a Borg or a bore. It's the reigning FameLab Academy winner of St Edward's School, James Sykes, or in his own words, the calm, specific, and weird James Sykes. He enjoys tennis, taking part in things, and memorising numbers, specifically pi. He's got it memorised to 50 places. He used to have it memorised to 130. So get ready to spend just under 3.14159265369 minutes with James Sykes.
What will our Earth be like in 5 years' time? Well, probably not very different, really. Maybe just cheaper technology and more powerful computers. But what will our Earth be like in 20 years' time? Yes, you can make predictions, but I doubt anyone would have predicted that we will be as technologically advanced as we are now. So, the real thing we need to worry about is how advanced computers are becoming. They could end up ruling the world, although you could argue that they already do. The key thing to bear in mind here is AI, artificial intelligence. Computers are now capable of performing ever more complex tasks, but they still cannot think for themselves. In 1958, the first ever integrated circuit, or computer chip, was made. You can see it here. Moore's law predicts that every 2 years, computers double in power. So this represents how powerful computers were in 1958. Now, if we were to draw another square for how powerful they are now, it would have to be over 50,000 meters squared in size. So although some people disagree, many scientists believe that computers will attain human-like intelligence by the end of the 2020s. Isn't this a bit scary? So, an example of robots being used in everyday life is in one restaurant in China, suitably named Robot Restaurant. It's staffed by 20 robots who don't only bring people their food, they also act as chefs and greet diners as they enter. In the next 2 decades, many of our jobs could disappear due to robots increasing in intelligence. A study has revealed that 47% of US jobs could disappear in this time. For example, accountants are already becoming less necessary, as robots are suited to working under set instructions. As well as this, in chess, the former world champion Kasparov actually lost to a chess supercomputer in 1997. So it seems like jobs with a repetitive nature look to be under threat. I mean, it goes without saying that a robot will be better at performing a task for hours on end than any human. I mean, it's not going to get bored or distracted, is it? So, will they take over the world? Well, I think they will, eventually. This might not happen for centuries, but it could happen in only a few decades' time. Ultimately, if they can just send a virus to all of our computers that are linked up to the internet, then we won't exactly be able to function. And no, you can't just argue that we can just destroy them, because by then it will be too late. We'll have nothing to destroy them with. I mean, that's unless you use a hammer. We could be creating the downfall of humanity. Are you worried yet?
I came here all happy this morning. I've learned that either snakes or zombies or robots are going to try and blow me off the face of the earth, but at least we're trying to look for a way out. You lot are terrifying. Don't want to do this anymore. If robots are going to have this potential to do all these things that we can do, is there a happy medium? And should they be taking over jobs? Should they be fishing in the seas, which is one of the highest death rates in the world? Should it be going into sewers to clear them up where there's explosions? Should it be bomb disposal? Or do we just say no, because there's a slippery slope? Should there be some robots that replace some jobs? Then where do we stop?
I think there should be, because you can't really stop us developing. And there's no way that we can just stop robots coming into our lives. I mean, already electronics are playing a big part in how we live, like in our everyday life. So I think it's good that they can be used to enhance our lives. And I was reading that actually in 20 years' time or something, when they become as intelligent as us, I mean, if this ever happens, they could help curing curing a disease's cancer, and this could play a big part in saving our lives. Yeah.
Thank you.
You said we could only use a hammer against these robots.
Yeah.
Do we really not have any other weapons that we could employ?
I mean, we could, but I'm saying that by this time, if they can just shut down all of our computer systems, we're gonna be like running out of food, water, because everything's run by computers. And in 20 years' time, imagine what it's going to be like then. Already, if you might have your calendar on your phone, so you lose that, so you don't know what you're doing. Although using a hammer might not actually work for everything because like things are being stored in the cloud now, so you can't destroy something that's not actually there.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out whether you're pro robot or not. I am really old-fashioned. You know, this is my diary. I don't have it on my phone. But I think we all think, oh, wouldn't it be nice though if we could just have a robot to go and make us a cup of tea whenever we want, or make us breakfast in bed. But I'm wondering, would we actually be happier in a world with robots? You know, they don't argue. They very rarely refuse our commands. So, do you think we'd be happier as human beings if we were surrounded by robots?
I think it's great how it is at the moment, but the problem is they could be immortal, in theory, so if they don't want to die, then they're not really going to be happy being effectively slaves, because if they're as intelligent as us, then they're practically animals, they're like us. They're not going to want to be run by us.
So that's assuming that they get to that level where they have
so I
the
think
intelligence.
how it is at the moment is good, so if we can develop so they can do more things without becoming humans, then it's fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's all we've got time for from the humanoid, James Sykes. And Kate, have you